Welcome, Soul Family. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I love you guys so much. Here we are, guys. Today I'm out here in the forest by the river, as you can see. So maybe you can hear the river as well. So hopefully you can hear me though. So I'll try and speak kinda a bit louder than usual, maybe a little bit, because oh well, whatever. It's a beautiful day today, guys. I'm out here in the forest. This is what we're doing today, guys. This is exactly what we're doing today, which is the video that's going live today. So, I'm in the forest. It's called Shinrin-yoku. The Japan doctors, apparently the scientists in Japan, have done research in their labs, clinical scientific research, and being in the forest has like real measurable scientific benefits for people, right? So that's very interesting. That's why one of my priorities for each day of my life is to be out in nature. It's one of my hobbies, it's one of my priorities. I just love it. It's so refreshing. You know what I mean? So the grounding has also been scientifically proven. But let's look at this, right? Over here, we have all these studies that were done. The physiological effects of shinrin-yoku, forest bathing and immune function, preventive medical effects of nature therapy, right? These are all links you can check out, right? And so they prescribe this to people in Japan because it has these benefits here. It drops your cortisol levels, which means it reduces stress, right? It boosts your immunity. NK cells rise. What does that even mean, bro? It boosts your immunity. Literally, it fights cancer. It literally helps your body fight cancer, apparently. I've heard that before, okay? Then heightens your senses. Alpha waves rise, apparently, right? So that's very interesting. Your brain waves. So here I am today in nature again, and yeah, we're just gonna let it flow like this river, guys. We let go, we let God, we go with the flow of life, of the universe, you know what I mean? The Tao. So yeah, man, let's see what today's video brings us, right? It's gonna be a fun video, like we get to decide whatever we want to do, right? And now, what do I want to talk about? I do have some interesting takes about geopolitics and my life right now, recent realizations and stuff. Just take a deep breath, like I want to introduce like new video series, but I guess it happens organically. Like maybe I'll read some text or some quote from some spiritual teacher or some ancient scripture or something, right? And regardless of religion, guys, I just want to be candid and fully honest with you guys. Regardless of religion, like let's just talk about it, like we need religions to unite, we need to celebrate our commonalities. There's so many commonalities within all the different religions of the world. They have a lot of the same teachings. Be a good person, right? Do good things. Some of them say give to charity. Like some of them say if you do bad, you'll get bad back, right? A lot of them believe in God and a higher power. Some of them don't. Some of them believe in many. But hey, we don't need to fight wars over them. We don't need to fight about them. We can still live in peace together. You know what I mean? Like wars, another touchy subject. Wars are interesting because, you know, there's a bunch of wars that happen all over the world, guys. There's a bunch of wars that happen, right? and are happening right now. And it's actually affecting my life in some ways because my motherland, India, is in that region, the northern hemisphere, right? I have family in the northern hemisphere, right? So it just gets me thinking about nuclear World War III, for example. Even if it were to happen in a tiny region, for example, like Japan, right? We were just talking about Japan. In Japan, for example, right? Was that a nuclear bomb that was dropped there? So, for example, if there's a nuclear war between any country in that region, let's say Russia, China, India, Pakistan, Europe, Middle East, Africa doesn't have nukes for now, right? South Africa doesn't. Australia, I don't think they do. They have some bases. New Zealand don't, right? UK does, Europe does, France does, okay? Israel does, okay? United States have nukes. South America, no one has nukes. History is very interesting, guys. Since the last time I've spoken to you, I've educated myself. I've learned a lot about history. I've learned and grown as a person. I've experienced life in all sorts of ways, right? Time has passed. I've had experiences. And here I am talking to you guys. So thank you guys so much for being here with me. But hey, it's not over yet. Wait, we're still going. Okay? I just love hearing the sound of the forest, bro. It's like an energy vortex out here. Anyway, it's the most important thing they made us forget, right? Why the fuck are these wars happening, right? Some might argue, hey, if you don't have nukes, then you're at risk of being nuked and bullied. If you do have nukes, then you're at the risk of being nuked, okay? So it's very interesting because there's dictators in the world that we all know about. North Korea, right? Kim Jong-un. If he gets nuked, right, he's gonna nuke the US and he's gonna nuke a bunch of people, okay? The US bullies let's find out. Hey Google, has the US nuked Japan?
Yes, the United States detonated two atomic bombs over Japan in 1945. Hiroshima, August 6, 1945, Little Boy. Nagasaki, August 9, 1945, Fat Man. These remain the only uses of nuclear weapons in armed conflict. The bombings led to Japan's unconditional surrender on August 15, 1945, effectively ending World War II. Combined, the attacks caused an estimated 110,000 to 210,000 deaths, mostly civilians, due to the immediate blasts and long-term radiation sickness.
Damn, guys, I had to give it a second to soak in. You know? That was like 70 years ago, right? 110,000 to 210,000 people were nuked. That was the only times nukes were used, right? And I believe they were used because, like they said, World War II was complicated, and I don't know what the reasons were, but I think, why did it have to be repeated? It's a very complicated situation. So that gets me worried because I wanted to move to India at one point, right? Like even now I'm considering, I'm like, I love India as well, right? It's one of my countries. I love South Africa as well, which we can get into, right? This is the whole topic I want to talk about, is because like, if you live in the northern hemisphere and nuclear war erupts, even if you live in the neighboring countries, you might be fucking, you're gonna suffer for no goddamn reason, right? Like they said, 110,000 to 200,000 lives, people. Humans like you, they had whole lives going on. Civilians just erased. Why? Why to me does it seem that wars benefit the pigs on the top is what I should call them. I don't want to put them all in one box, guys. I don't want to demonize the entire 1%, but what I'm referring to as pigs, similar to the Animal Farm novel that Lex Friedman talks about, right? One of his favorite books. But anyway, he's right. The pigs eventually end up becoming gluttonous, basically. So there's some people on top in all sorts of countries all over the world, right? There's corrupt people all over the place in the system, right? We don't know why evil exists. We don't know how to explain evil, whether it's part of the flow of life, right? Maybe God decided, hey, in order for good to exist, evil has to exist. You know, it's like the only way life can exist. We can get into that as well. That's a very interesting topic, also. Okay, but actually, we should talk about that right now because it's very important to talk about that. Because since we're talking about death, right? So, there's all these countries that have nukes around the world, guys. At any moment, if some crazy person decides to nuke another country, innocent people have to fucking suffer the consequences of these pigs who are fat as fuck. They're rich as fuck. They're stealing from the people that they're supposed to serve. They're killing innocent people. They're colonizing other countries and extracting their resources. Like, what the fuck is this? And only a few fat pigs benefit. The rest of the people in these countries, the common man fucking suffers. 90% of people fucking suffer. Their lives are lost. Their parents, their brothers, their sisters, their nephews, their uncles, you know what? Their aunts, their family members, their friends are lost in these wars. For what? It's fucked up and it needs to change, bro. And the best way to change it, guys, this is another very important realization. The best way to change the world is to change yourself. No, I know that may sound cliche, but it's actually very true. Let me elaborate, okay? If we all as individuals choose to drop out of the system, right? We take the power away from them. Do you understand? How are we going to change the entire country? Billions and billions of humans and systems of centuries, and billions and trillions of dollars and power and money and corruption and violence, you know, and like trauma, generational trauma, and all sorts of things. So it's like, we have to change ourselves. We have to choose not to give them our money, our time, our energy, right? Stop supporting them. You have to boycott chemicals. You have to get back to nature. You have to learn how to decolonize your mind, how to get rid of the greed virus, how to keep that in check, right? Like, they've got you hypnotized, they've got you programmed. You know what I mean? The Matrix, guys. The rat race. So if you choose to stop giving your money to these companies that are supporting the wars, that are involved in the corruption, you know, stop feeding the money to the chemicals, because you're harming the earth. You're harming your own body by consuming these addictive chemicals by consuming toxic junk food, for example, it's harming the earth, it's harming your body, it's harming your mind. You'll save money, you'll save the earth, like, you know what I mean? So that's the best way. That's the best way, guys. If we all as individuals just decide to take our money away, that will make a difference, right? Choose to support those who, companies who benefit the earth, benefit your community, benefit others, right? So learn to be sovereign, learn to be independent, learn to be self-sufficient, learn to be autonomous. Then that brings us onto a deeper question, about purpose. But as I said earlier, I need to get into a deeper topic since we're talking about wars and stuff. This video is already quite long, but I may need to cut it at some point. But death is an illusion of sorts. Why do I say so? Why am I no longer agnostic on death? Why am I I'm scientific with everything in my life. I'm skeptical, I'm scientific, guys. Like, I'm a person who wants to see the experience. Like, at first I used to think no one knows what happens after death. I guess we'll all get to find out. That's the divine mystery and adventure. That's wonderful. But then once I found out about near-death experiences, right? Thousands and thousands of people around the world have experienced the afterlife and told their stories, right? If you just search NDEs on YouTube, right? Okay. If you just search NDE on YouTube, right? You'll hear stories from hundreds and thousands of people. Look at this, right? NDE, Earth is a stage. Man dies as shown what truly matters in life. There is no religion. She asked God about her abortion. His answer changed everything. I saw everything. Atheist dies for 6 hours. What he saw on the other side will shock you. Near-death experiences. I've watched so many of these videos, guys. Back from death. 14-year-old brings back evidence from the afterlife that no one can explain. Life is a school. This NDE will give you goosebumps. Woman dies. Learns that we plan our lives. So I've watched all of these and it's very convincing, guys, because it's so many stories and it all says the same thing. And then sometimes they tell you about things like doctors verified things that were undeniable, for example, right? And so many hundreds and thousands of people telling you about it. It makes you believe it more. It makes you have more hope that, hey, there is an afterlife. Everything is going to be good, regardless of your religion. If you're a good human, you'll be okay. But even regardless of that, Earth is a school, like they said. Like, we plan our lives, like, it's so true. It's very interesting stuff you guys need to look into, guys. The Earth School, we are souls. We came here to learn lessons. It ties into all religions and God, right? So it's very interesting stuff. And this will make you feel better about death, I guess, in some ways. But regardless of this, you can still make the most of now. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys so, so much. Adios, mi familia. Del sol. Me encanta tú.